on Ways and Means will now come to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Scott. Commissioner Baker McCormick. Commissioner Marecki. Commissioner Clemente. Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Vice Chair Baidoon has requested to be excused, and Chair Kinlott.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
Next item.
Next item, item B, Chairman's remarks.
Okay, members, you have the tablets in front of you, so remember to vote utilizing the tablets. And if you would like to speak, to be recognized through the tablets as well. I have no further comments at this time. Next item on the agenda.
Item C, approval of the minutes from January 31st, 2023.
You have the minutes from January 31st in front of you. A motion is in order. It's been moved by Commissioner Scott, supported, moved by member Commissioner Marecki, and supported by Commissioner Anderson. Now vote. All those in favor, please vote. All those opposed, please vote. Those abstain, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda.
Item D, unfinished business. There is none listed. We're moving to page 2, item E1, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023 35063, certifying revenue and reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Who's present to address this item?
Is it on? Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Through the chair, Victoria Ennis Edwards, Director of Wayne County's Human Relations and Business Inclusion Division. So this is for the long talked about and long awaited new system. What we are trying to do with this system, currently we register and certify all of our vendors. Then the data, for example, that I give for example, the CJC, where we talk about their certifications, where they're from. We now have the ability with this new system to pull all that into one. I don't have to stay up with spreadsheets and pens and pencils to figure it out. We have the ability to automate. So I will be able to automate reports. I can tell you how many vendors are registered, in what category, percentages of contracts. This system will also, as the ERP comes online, it has the ability to send its data to ERP. So for example, procurement, Aaron's group will then have the ability to look at the contracts, and we can look at how many vendors we have in a category. And I'll give you an example. If we're going to build a new parking structure, we'll be able to look at how many of our Wayne County businesses are certified in these categories. Which allow us then to be able to put correct criteria and inclusion goals on the project. We also can then measure our certified folks against those with the state and other municipalities. So it's a wider breadth of services, and it's going to streamline several of the processes. So you've heard me talk about this for quite a while, and I'm very, very excited. So I hope I have support on this budget adjustment.
So the budget adjustment, this is just the budget adjustment, no contract associated with it. So that will be coming later.
Absolutely.
I would imagine there's a bid that will or has gone out, or
we'll be bringing the whole contract package through TCM in proper format, and it will, I do believe, come before government operations. But I knew until I had the budget adjustment done, I couldn't get the whole package correctly in front of you. So you will see the whole contract package as true to form.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Thank you. And for the record, we will approve all of these at the end. Thank you, Ms. Ennis. Madam Clerk, next item.
Next item, item number 2, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023 35056, certifying revenue and reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sue Hamu, Deputy Corporation Counsel. We are just moving the money from to allocate for legal services contracts related to the prosecutor's office.
Tony, do you have some insights, something you want to share with us regarding this? It seems pretty
I'm very grateful for Sister Council. We get a lot of things done that we weren't able to do in the past. This is a simple, no good deed goes unpunished kind of thing. The Conviction Integrity Unit manages to exonerate certain persons. And then once they're exonerated, they sue us. That's why the $500,000 needs to be allocated.
Thank you. Any questions from any of the committee members? Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there a certain amount that they get automatically when they're exonerated?
Yes, under state statute, they get, it's WICA, Wrongful
Yeah.
Imprisonment Compensation
Imprisonment.
Act. They get that from the state, but then they sue us for civil rights violations in federal, for constitutional claims. So that we are involved in the WICA case, but we are not involved in paying that amount.
So what does the state give? Do you know that amount?
I think it's capped at $25,000 a year.
Okay, so do we have anything that, I mean, we're helping them to get out. Do we have anything in play that would allow us to cap whatever?
No, we cannot cap
Unfortunately, no.
on constitutional claims. No.
Okay, so why would that be unconstitutional for us versus the state?
No, on the constitutional claims, they still would have the right to sue us. And what we're doing here is fighting the litigation from a
Right.
constitutional.
Constitutional claims would be civil rights type
Right.
claims.
I see, so that,
Cannot get them. It is.
I was just wondering if there's ever been some type of agreement where,
We've thought of it, but unfortunately, we can't get
Okay.
it.
Didn't get there yet.
done.
We're still lobbying.
Okay, thank you. That concludes your questions. Okay, Commissioner Anderson, then Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you. I guess a question I have is, do we have others that are pending that we just haven't received yet that are going to be coming down the pike?
I'm sorry, are you, Commissioner, are you asking if there are cases that have not been filed yet?
Well, I know you wouldn't know that, right? That haven't been filed.
But yeah, we wouldn't know. We know the number of people that have been exonerated. Obviously, we know the number of cases that we're currently involved in, which I think is 4 right now. I think it's 4 right now. And yeah, we obviously, some of the people that have been exonerated would have 3 years from when they're exonerated to bring litigation against them.
Does municipal risk not help with anything like this? Nothing at all? Okay, is there anything that's being explored? And I'm at loss for what it might be to help assist the county with the expense at the federal level or with a national association?
Not that we're aware of.
I would think they would encourage that. I mean, I think this is a worthwhile thing that we're doing, trying to help those that have now been released because they were found to be innocent all along. And I think I think the prosecutor and the county should be commended for doing this. And as Tony mentioned, now we're paying the price for doing something good for those that were improperly, erroneously sent to prison. But anyway, I just, it just seems as though there might be some organization nationally, but it would probably just be impossible to fund it. For them to provide it. But how many counties are you aware of that are actually doing this, have a department within the prosecutor's office or a group that are looking at wrongful convictions? And I think it would discourage other counties from doing it because they'd look and say, well, look what it's costing. But I think if we are a system of justice, if we are to uphold a system of justice for people that are going through the judicial system, then there's no other option. But anyway, that's my questions. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Marecki.
Man, okay, thank you. Glenn, or Commissioner Anderson asked a couple of questions that I had, but when someone comes back to sue us, what court do they go in front of? Oh, federal?
Yep.
Okay. Then is there something that has to trigger like a new look at looking at someone that's been incarcerated? Does it have to have new information to trigger it, or can someone just say, hey, I didn't do it, let's do this again?
Pardon me. There's a very strict protocol. Has to be determined that there's new evidence. In most cases, it's DNA that we didn't have back whenever the offense was committed. But seriously, there are very, very strict guidelines. It's not just, hey, I'm really innocent, because you hear that over and over again. There has to be actual evidence to show that there may have been a miscarriage of justice.
Okay. And then my last question, wait, I just went blank. Oh, we just didn't do this out of the kindness of our heart, right? Wasn't there either a state or a federal, something came down from telling counties they had to look at this? Again, okay, we just did do this.
No,
out of the kindness of our heart. Okay.
That was on a different issue, not anything related to these,
Oh, okay.
what you're thinking of.
Okay. What am I thinking of?
There was a,
Oh, I don't want to put you on the spot. It's okay.
Was it the
Okay.
juvenile lifer? Those who were sentenced to life who as juveniles, was that something that was mandated as far as review of those cases?
there was a mandate throughout the entire United States.
For the
to
juvenile
review those.
lifers. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Juvenile lifers.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Commissioner Baker McCormick again.
Thank you. I just wanted a follow-up question. The settlement average cost amount yearly, do you know what it costs the county?
One case relative to a wrongful conviction.
Could you lean into the mic?
Sure, I'm sorry. We settled that case for $1 million.
And so whatever we, excuse me, settle for, the amount basically has to come from taxpayer dollars, right?
Correct.
In addition, we pay the cost for the attorneys. Is that
Correct.
Okay. So now we have 4 other cases currently. Okay. And this 500,000 is only for the cost of the attorneys.
Correct.
Thank you.
Just say this, if one person is wrongfully convicted and the government has the ability to clear that person and grant them their freedom, we have a human responsibility at whatever cost it is to cure and to remedy that plight of that person. So I think that the dollar amount is absolutely something that is unfortunate, but is the cost of doing, of fixing a wrong. And as you just stated, whatever decision that comes on the other side from the courts, as far as any sort of cost associated with a judgment, that's within their constitutional right. And so we have a responsibility to right or wrong that maybe predecessors have, in the criminal justice system may have done or whatever. But I think that this is a great program, and the prosecutor has always led the way on trying to do stuff that nobody else is doing, or doing it better than what everybody else is doing. So thank you again. Any additional questions?
I wasn't alluding to that we shouldn't have the integrity unit at all, because it's a great program. And definitely if someone was wronged and convicted, and we should do the right thing. And this is the right thing. So I commend the prosecutor and your office for doing this. And so I was not saying that. I just wanted to be clear on what we're spending and why we're spending this, the dollars that we're contributing. And it's important to do that. It's our fault, so we have to make up for it, right? So.
Well, it's not necessarily our fault, Commissioner.
For whatever reason, they were wrongly incarcerated. So that's what I mean by, so.
Through the chair,
Okay.
if I may, I don't want the committee to be misled, and I don't want the commission to be misled. I want you to know, I have firsthand knowledge that Corporation Counsel's office vigorously defends these cases. I can tell you that there's not a single week that goes by that I don't get emails from Sue. We need this information, we need that information. So rest assured, the county is putting up a very vigorous defense on these. And the funds we're talking about are only what's necessary to go to outside counsel, because they're as overworked and short-staffed as we are in the prosecutor's office. But the county is very well served by Corporation Counsel, no doubt.
You, Commissioner Scott.
Your mic.
Not all of them, Commissioner. Most of them do. The claim may be filed by a private attorney. We wind up reviewing it. If it comes to us, when I say us, it would be directly to the prosecutor's office as opposed to going through the Innocence Project, then the protocol in our office would be to refer it to the Conviction Integrity Unit, the CIU, for investigation to determine if it merits opening a case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any additional questions? There being no additional questions, next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item, item 3, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35090, certifying revenue and reallocating expenditures in the law enforcement fund and reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Jerome Picorni, Sheriff Administration. Britton Foreman, Sheriff IT Operations Sergeant. Yes, this is a budget adjustment that, well, we received an invoice from the state of Michigan for activation of our radios. The invoice is charged against our dispatch unit, and they receive the revenue by charging back any unit that uses a radio. So basically, there's a small portion that is a line item transfer, and the rest is charged back to the jails, secondary roads, MSCU, and that's where the funding is coming from.
Those funds come from grants directly from the various appropriate state agencies.
For the different business units,
The ones that you mentioned, the road fund and some of the other funds. that you-
secondary roads would be a grant. MSCU is through miscellaneous citations, whatnot, and the jails are partial grants, mainly general fund.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioners have any questions? No questions? Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Item number 4, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023 35062, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
This is a budget adjustment just to upgrade a position within the sheriff's administration to an executive 2 position.
Commissioners, you have any questions? Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item number 5, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023 35075, reallocating expenditures in the drug enforcement program fund.
This is a budget adjustment in our drug enforcement unit just to increase miscellaneous operating expenses. In the last several years, they've been slashed just for cuts needed throughout the county. For example, this year we've had $16,000 budgeted there. Previous years it was 44,000, 100,000. So we just need to cover expenses that are coming in, copiers, water, and such.
Commissioners, do you have any questions? Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 6, requesting
Thank you.
commission approval of budget adjustment 2023 35067, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Who's here to speak regarding this? I think this is one of the components associated with the ERP.
Is that better? There we go. Good afternoon, through the chair, Deputy Chief Financial Officer Aaron Wagner. I'm here to speak on item number 6. This is an extension of funding for the maintenance of our current JD Edwards, which is our financial ERP system. This system will continue and require maintenance through, I think it is not this fiscal year, but next fiscal year, as we go through and implement and then transition off to Oracle Cloud.
So you're saying end of 2024?
End of 2024, correct. The ERP system has 3 phases. JD Edwards is the second phase, and the first phase is HCM, which is going to replace PeopleSoft, which is the human capital piece. That implementation, or that first wave, will be completed at the end of this calendar year.
Okay, right. And so, yes, that's going in and out. So those related components that will be coming online end of this year will, and you said PeopleSoft, or what is it?
Yes, PeopleSoft, which is the human capital piece, timekeeping, payroll,
Right.
that. So that will be sunsetted at January 1st, 2024. Mid through this year, we're going to start the implementation, or wave 2 of JD Edwards, which then, starting the next fiscal year 2025, that's when this JD Edwards platform will be sunsetted. So everything will be into that integrated system.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I wanted you all to come in, because I wanted to have a clear understanding of when this patchwork would end.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that we have to, of course, continue to bandage the current software current, technology we're utilizing. But just want to get a little bit more of an update on how those phases are looking as far as those deadlines and closing out and transitioning over to the new, ERP.
Yeah, there's a 4-minute video presentation that we just recorded last week that will be sent out to all the electeds, the commission staff. So it'll explain the timetables, the wave, and we can certainly set up at GovOps a presentation to give an update as to where we are with the new implementation. And, at this point right now, we're in the design phase for HCM. And so it's a very rigorous timetable, but we are meeting the objectives right now.
And then I'll ask commissioners for questions if they have any. There was a committee that was meeting or was supposed to be meeting to, I guess, keep everyone up to date on what's going on and just making sure that all the components were going to be, suitable for all of the end users. So I'm just asking, is that committee or your task force or working group still meeting?
So we have a leadership committee that meets once a week. It's a wider group.
Does that include our staff?
Yes, it does. Actually, Mary's on that
Hey,
committee.
Mary.
So we do, weekly status updates, but certainly, and I'm not sure if there was a commission special committee set up just for oversight on the ERP.
It is not. GovOps get the updates on it, and the chair, it's her prerogative as far as a cow. We're going to be asking Mary for any updates, as we move along.
I mean, now that I'm project sponsor, I'd like to set up a cadence of at least quarterly updates on the ERP just to show what progress we have, demonstrate where we are as far as expenditures, and then, any particular updates we have.
Okay, that'd be very helpful. Yep, and it's always good to hear from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, commissioners, any questions? Okay, the Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as we transition from the current software to the ERP, how often are we going to have to keep investing in this current system? I mean, is this, because this is 200,000, well, is it 500, the next item?
So the current systems, in this particular instance, it's JD Edwards. The goal is by not the beginning of this upcoming fiscal year, but the following fiscal year, there'll be a go live date that we will stop supporting JD Edwards entirely, and all of those all of the data will be up in working in the cloud. So it's not something that will keep the legacy system going past go live. It's going to be a hard changeover.
Right, but so right now, is this the only expense that we foresee until the new system is up, or will we have to?
We'll have maintenance and licensing of JD Edwards that will continue, and then once we're off of JD Edwards, those licensing costs and the maintenance costs will go away.
Okay, is this a monthly adjustment or fee, or is this quarterly? I'm just
Yeah,
trying
so
to-
this is to cover the annual cost of this contract. Notably, these funds are coming from miscellaneous, and we're moving them over to a more appropriate account. Equipment maintenance and repair. So there's a bit of accounting cleanup in this general appropriations, but for now we have these two systems existing or in development simultaneously, and this is to cover those costs until that point that we can transition entirely over and realize the budgetary savings and improvements.
Okay, so we don't know how many adjustments that we'll have to make up
We don't
until
an-
we
Yeah, we don't anticipate many adjustments coming in place, but we will keep you'll be able to see all those contracts. This is just the appropriation for that to go forward.
Thank you.
So right now, we're saying 2024 is when we should see no more anything associated with JD Edwards, end of 2024,
End of 2024, so by, fiscal year 2025.
end of, right, beginning of the fiscal year we're talking about, correct? Okay, any additional questions? Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda. Pardon me, who? Oh, Auditor General, oh, you don't have a button. Okay, there you go, Madam Auditor.
Just have a comment. Marcy Corr, Auditor General, to the Chair. We will be having our review report of the ERP system at the Committee on Audit tomorrow for anybody that would like to attend.
Oh, I read it. Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Item number 7, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35071, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
This one is related specifically to the ERP upgrade. Notably, this is cleanup from the beginning of the budget year where we had the large scale numbers intact. However, getting into the detail of that, this is cleaning it up for what is contractual services versus program management personnel needed to get the system functioning in a timeline that is meeting our goals.
Touched on this earlier, but are there any additional questions? Seeing none, thank you. Next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Item number 8, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35074, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Okay, as you see, this is a reallocating of expenditures in the amount of $1,135. Are there any questions? Any questions? Next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Item number 9, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35082, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Anyone here to speak regarding this?
Hello,
You're on.
Kamal Keparu, Finance Director for the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. This is just a reallocation to fund for a mentorship program at the JDF.
Thank you. How are things going over there? Okay, so is anyone here? So you're just speaking as relates to this item, you're only prepared? Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Marecki. I didn't.
Thank you. Is it on? Okay. Is this a new program or is it a trial program?
It's definitely a new program, but whether it's a trial, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Because it's,
But it was to bring in a little more support to help with the juveniles.
okay, and I didn't look at the contract. Is it for a year or just a year? Okay, because it's not that much money.
No.
So I was just wondering, but, okay, and I'm sure they're going to keep stats and see what goes on with mentoring.
That's my understanding. Yes.
Okay, thanks. I'm good.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Wanted to let the commissioners know we'll discuss this in our HHS meeting. So.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item number 10, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35086, reallocating expenditures in the county health fund.
Yeah, just another reallocation in the public health fund.
Any questions? Thank you. Next item on the agenda.
Item number 11, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35087, certifying revenue in the county health fund.
This is another one, as you know, there's 4 every quarter we receive an adjustment from the state. So this is just reconciling our county budget to the state budget.
Any questions, commissioners? Next item on the agenda.
Item number 12, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35061, certifying revenue in the general fund.
Do you have any questions, commissioners, regarding this item? Any questions? Commissioner Anderson. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Yes, thank you. Tony, I just wanted to ask, what services are provided at this office? Is it a convenience issue for local police departments or?
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Commissioner. For everybody's edification, the prosecutor's office has a satellite office we call the Out County office, located in the Dearborn Heights Justice Center, which is on the corner of Michigan Avenue and Beach Daily in Dearborn Heights. The office services 16 district courts throughout Western Wayne County and downriver. There's 750 square feet of space. We've occupied it since 2008. It's an essential function for our office because this way, the prosecutors, well, soon will be doing everything electronically, but when we had physical files, it was much easier to get those files and distribute them from the Out County office. So those prosecutors, those assistant prosecutors would be able to go out and work in the various courts that they are assigned to. And we have also a clerical specialist, I believe that's her title, Deborah Hemingway, who works on preparing discovery requests from defense counsel for those assistant prosecutors that are assigned to that office. This, if I may just through the chair, the funding here takes care of problems that we discovered that we still owed some rent and it had not been processed through the county. That's the function of this particular request.
Thank you. Thanks for that explanation. And we learned something.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions, commissioners? Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item number 12, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35061, certifying revenue in the general fund.
Jerome Pokorny again, from the Wayne County Sheriff's Administration. We receive a grant every year from the Michigan State Police for seatbelt and distracted driving overtime. This is just adjusting so we match the award, which is most of it. And then there's a small portion. We felt we were going to get a pedestrian bicycle overtime award as well as we did last year, but we are not going to be receiving that this year.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners? Being none, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Next item, item 13, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35094, decertifying revenue in the general fund.
So who's here to address this item? Who's here to address this item? Is there anyone here to address this item? Ms. Adams? Thank you. Do you have any questions, commissioners? Any questions? Okay. Let's see, I'm looking, okay, no questions. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Okay. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation on each of these items, items 1 through one. We have one, correct, one more. The text, hold on. I thought that's the one we just did on as relates to the. Okay, thank you. Okay, 13. Okay, item number 14, thank you.
Item number 14, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2023-35064, reallocating expenditures in the delinquent tax revolving fund and certifying revenue in the delinquent tax revolving fund 2022.
Ms. Adams.
Item is an adjustment or correction for a fiscal year in the delinquent tax revolving fund. These are funds that are used for expenses related to the delinquent tax anticipation notes, our DTAN notes from 2022.
Any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Adams. Okay, we'll try this again. Madam members, you've heard the presentation of the items number 1 through 14. Chair will entertain a motion. It's been moved. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. If we're voting, I'm saying, okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Clemente. Okay, we will now vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item on the agenda.
Item letter F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. Next item.
Item G, public comments.
Madam Clerk, is there anyone on Zoom who is asking to be recognized to speak before this committee?
No hands on Zoom.
Have you received any emails or other communications?
No emails were received.
Okay, is there anyone present here who would like to address this committee? Okay, no one asking to be recognized. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item H, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn is in order. It's been moved by Commissioner Maraki, supported by Commissioner Clemente.